Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. It's Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates. Election Day 2024 is finally here. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris stump for votes right till the bitter end. Their individual pitches to supporters as millions of voters get set to head to the polls. And Path to 270, the key states and the math that make up the all-important Electoral College. This special edition of Unbiased Updates begins now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
This morning, the campaigning is over. The final rallies have been held, and polling locations are opening across America. Election Day has arrived. Former President Donald Trump, the Republican nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee, each vying to be the next president of the United States, ending an election season that saw the incumbent president replaced on his party's ticket by his vice president, and 2 assassination attempts on former President Trump's life. Already more than 82 million votes have been cast in early voting, and millions of Americans are heading to the polls today. And we already have the first results. Once again, the small township of Dixville Notch, New Hampshire, kicking off Election Day. Trump and Harris tying with 3 votes each. Polling places opening at 5 a.m. Eastern in parts of Vermont, with more locations opening across the country throughout the morning. The first polls closing at 6 p.m. Eastern in parts of Indiana and Kentucky. The candidates focused the last day and night of their campaigning in the battleground states, with former President Trump visiting 3, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Vice President Harris spending her entire day in Pennsylvania. At each campaign stop, the nominees strongly delivered their final messages to try to reach voters who still might be undecided and encourage their supporters to vote. Trump began his campaigning on Monday in Raleigh, North Carolina.
We will be a free and proud nation once again. Everyone will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope and the American dream itself. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala and stop her radical left agenda with a landslide that is too big to rig.
Vice President Harris started her Election Day eve in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
You know, this whole era of this other guy, what it's done with all that talk that's been about trying to have us point fingers at each other and divide each other, it makes people feel alone. Yeah. It makes them feel like there's nobody standing with them. And so the way I've always been thinking about our campaign of these next 24 hours is, as we are getting out to vote, as we are canvassing, let's be intentional about building community, about building coalitions, about reminding people we all have so much more in common than what separates us. There's power in that.
Next, the former president made a stop in Reading, Pennsylvania.
We're on the 2-yard line, not the 5-yard line. 2 days ago, we were at the 5, now we're at the 2. But we have to turn out and vote tomorrow. We're going to vote. But we're right there, and then we're going to do something, a term you've never heard of, make America great again. That's what we're going to do.
Harris then taking her talking points to Allentown, PA.
America is ready for a fresh start. Love you, Steve. And America is ready for a new way forward where we see our fellow American not as an enemy, but as a neighbor. We are ready.
Both candidates then campaigning in Pittsburgh, holding competing rallies at the same time.
Only one day? Oh, does that sound nice? One day from now. Oh. We've been waiting for 4 years for this. 4 years. And the only way we can blow it is if you blow it. I've given you the ball. I mean, you got to go and vote.
During his rally, Trump invited Roberto Clemente Jr., the son of the legendary Pittsburgh Pirates player, onto the stage. He gave his endorsement to the former president.
The name Clemente, what it means is goodwill and unity. I believe that your team is going to bring it all home. I believe in everything that you stand for right now, being able to make the change for our families. My 3 kids that are very young, and we live here in Pennsylvania.
Vice President Harris telling the crowd in Pittsburgh she has momentum on her side.
And we have an opportunity in this election to finally turn the page on a decade of politics driven by fear and division. We are done with that. We're done. We're done. We're exhausted with it. And Pittsburgh, we are not going back. We're not going back.
Then the candidates held their closing rallies. Trump in Grand Rapids, Michigan, like he did in 2016 and 2020. And Harris in Philadelphia, holding a celebrity-filled event, including an appearance from former talk show host Oprah Winfrey.
If we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again. And let me be very clear. If you do not make sure that the people in your life can get to the polls, that is a mistake. Deciding not to decide, that is most definitely a vote to let other people control your future.
Our campaign has tapped into the ambitions and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people. We are optimistic and we are excited about what we can do together. And we know it is time for a new generation of leadership in America. And I am ready to offer that leadership as the next President of the United States of America. However, the race ain't over yet, and we must finish strong, and this could be one of the closest races in history. Every single vote matters, so let me ask you, who here has a plan to vote?
Thank you very much. This is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Think of it. This is it. This is the last one that we're going to have to do. We stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America's promise and we will take back the nation that we love. We love this nation. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Together, we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win.
Former President Trump plans to spend Election Day in Palm Beach, Florida, while Vice President Harris will be in Washington, D.C. While both presidential candidates are hoping to be the more popular choice among voters, it's the electoral votes that are key. Our political correspondent Ray Bogan explains what it takes to reach the magic number of 270.
Good morning, Craig. You're 100% right. 270 is the magic number, and there are multiple paths to victory for both candidates. The 7 battleground states that could go either way are Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona. They make up a combined 93 electoral votes. Polling indicates the candidates are anywhere from less than 1% to about 2 percentage points apart in each of those states. But stay tuned because some of these polls are changing by the hour and they're within the margin of error, meaning they could go either way. But for purposes of this conversation, let's have it play out exactly the way the 538 average of polls says it will. Under that scenario, Trump wins with 287 electoral votes by taking Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Harris takes Michigan and Wisconsin. But take a look at this. The polling average shows Trump is less than a half a point ahead of Harris in Pennsylvania. If that goes blue and everything else stays the same, she wins 270 to 268. That's how close this is. It's truly a nail-biter. If you like to place bets, it's a tough call as to who to put your money on. One thing we can safely say is like the 11,000 vote difference in Michigan in 2016 and Georgia in 2020, the polls indicate some of these states will be decided by less than 1%, possibly even less than 0.5%, so stay tuned. Craig, back to you.
Ray Bogan reporting from Washington, D.C. Ray will be providing election coverage all throughout the night on SAN.com and the Straight Arrow News app. It's not just the presidency that is on the line today, as both political parties will be looking to take control of Congress. As it stands now, the Republicans control the House, the Democrats control the Senate, but each only has a slim majority, meaning it won't take much to change that. In the Senate, Republicans are looking to flip 2 seats to win the majority. They would only need 1 should former President Trump win, as the vice president is the tie-breaking vote in the chamber. Some of the most watched Senate races include the ones in Michigan, Montana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Over in the House, Democrats are hoping to turn 4 seats blue to take control. Nebraska's 2nd District and New York's 17th District are 2 House races closely watched this election day. Our next president is not the only decision facing voters today. Voters in 41 states will decide the fate of 146 ballot measures, from abortion rights and election laws to workers' rights and drug legalization. Abortion is one of the top measures before voters, with nearly a dozen states set to decide the key issue. The most consequential are in Arizona, Florida, Missouri, Nebraska, and South Dakota, where abortions are currently either banned or severely restricted. Voters in those states will decide whether to enshrine abortion as a constitutional right. And recreational marijuana is back on the ballot in 3 states, Florida, North Dakota, and South Dakota. This will actually be the 3rd time North Dakota and South Dakota will vote on marijuana legalization. And people in 8 states will also vote on voting. Voters in Iowa, Idaho, Kentucky, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Wisconsin will decide ballot measures that would prohibit non-citizens from voting, which is already illegal at the federal level. Less than 24 hours before polls opened, podcaster Joe Rogan officially endorsed former President Trump on Tuesday. It came on the heels of Rogan's interview Monday with Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk, who's been an outspoken Trump supporter. While promoting the interview in a post on Musk's social media platform X, Rogan said Musk makes, quote, the most compelling case for Trump you'll hear, end quote, adding, for the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump.
This election is the last chance to preserve democracy in America. Mark my words. Go out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it. Vote like your future depends on it, because it does. This is the last chance, man. Well, I'll say it again, man. I think this is the last election. If Trump doesn't win, this is the last election.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think people, and a lot of people, are waking up and realize that.
Late last month, former President Trump joined Rogan on his podcast. According to estimates, Rogan's podcast gets at least 11 million listeners per day. Trump and Rogan talked for 3 hours, covering everything from Trump's plans for immigration to the economy to whether aliens exist. Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, has also appeared on the podcast. Vice President Harris's campaign said there had been talks for her to appear on the show, but they could not agree on terms. Also Monday, a Pennsylvania judge ruled Elon Musk's $1 million a day giveaway in swing states can continue through Election Day. It was being challenged as an illegal lottery and an attempt to influence the election by the Philadelphia district attorney. The ruling came after Musk's lawyers said the winners are paid spokespeople and not chosen by chance. Finally this morning, a non-election related story, but one that still involves voting. Overnight, Boeing workers voted to accept the company's latest contract offer, putting an end to the costliest strike in the United States in more than 2 decades. 59% of the members of the International Association of Machinists voted in favor of the deal. They had voted almost unanimously against Boeing's first offer, which started the strike on September 13th. Then, less than 2 weeks ago, 64% said no, they were against the second offer, extending the strike. Under the new deal, workers will get an immediate raise of 13%, then a 9% pay increase next year and in 2026. then another 7% in 2027, which is the final year of the contract. Altogether, that's a 43% raise total. Workers will also get a $12,000 bonus, part of which they can put toward their 401k. However, the new deal did not restore the company's pension plan, which had been a major sticking point in the strike that has cost the jet maker more than $1 billion in revenue. The 33,000 union members start returning to work on Wednesday. These are your unbiased updates for Tuesday, Election Day. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another special edition of Unbiased Updates. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.